everybody, and welcome to, what's it called again? Oh, sorry, I need to think about it. That's bad.
Life, Love and Libraries.
Hello everybody, and welcome to slightly late Life, Love and Libraries wrap-up version of the books that were read in January. Now, first of all, I have a confession. Of the 4 titles, I managed to read 2. The first one I'm going to talk about is this one, Death in the Stars, a Kate Shackleton mystery by Francis Brody. This is number 9 in the series. It's set in 1927 and it's a time of eclipse fever, and it features a whole lot of things that I'm interested in. An aeroplane ride through the countryside of Britain to go from London to Yorkshire, murders, tunnels underneath theatres. It's a little bit like an Enid Blyton mystery in some ways for adults. It's really good fun, a good read. I'm not allowed to reveal any of the plot to you, so I can't tell you why it was so good, except as it has a lot of detail. And at the end, as she does with all of her books, she has a list of eclipse cocktail and how to make an eclipse cocktail, and she also has a kind of bibliography as well, which as a historian I really enjoy.
What do you mean an eclipse cocktail? What, that's a drink in the book?
It's a drink in the book.
So she's trying to do kind of like James Bond sort of...
That's the kind of thing.
Yes. So she's trying to sort of create her own legendary drink.
Yes, I think that's the idea. And I've noticed quite a lot of authors will do that. They'll have a recipe for a favourite cake that a character mentions or something like that at the back of the book. And this one, as I say, is the Eclipse Cocktail, which has grenadine, sloe gin, dry gin, olives, lemon juice and finely grated orange peel. I haven't tried it, but I think I might have to. It does sound rather nice. And as I say, the best thing, as somebody who likes history, is she gives you an idea of the history of what's going on at the time. It's a really, really enjoyable read. So I'd recommend this one wholeheartedly. It's also a nice quick read. So, number 2. Now this one I was really looking forward to reading. I love a nice big fat juicy book. Lots and lots and lots of things to read. I've always enjoyed Kate Morton's books. This one is very interesting, The Clockmaker's Daughter. It's her latest one, and it's a very interesting story. It's quite complex, as you'd expect from the size of it. It's told from multiple points of view. It's quite a traditional idea in one sense, and you could argue it's the history of a house through the ages and the people whose lives have been lived in that house. One of the characters, it took me a while to realise who was speaking and that it wasn't the character who we'd already met. So that was quite an interesting challenge. The prose is absolutely gorgeous, the way it's written. Do you think I'm allowed to read a bit from the back? Just so that you can see how it's written.
Yeah, I don't see
right
now.
Let me just find you the bit that I really loved. It's very poetic and atmospheric, and you almost feel you can smell, feel, touch, taste where you are. But the bit that I loved at the back, I am each wall in every piece of timber. I am every nail. I am the wick in the lamp, the hook for a coat. I am the tricky lock on the front door. I am the tap that drips, the red rust circle on the porcelain sink. I am the crack in the bathroom tile. And it goes on in this vein, and at the end it says, I am the stars in the dark when you feel yourself alone. And I just love the way that summarises. I can't tell you why this is important, because it will spoil the plot, but it does summarise what's been going on in a lot of different ways. And I loved it. It was a beautiful read. It takes some reading, it takes some time, and I did find myself going faster as I got to the end because I wanted to know what happened, because it has got an element of whodunit. So definitely a good read. I was disappointed to finish it. I wanted it to keep lasting. You can see I keep stroking the cover, which I only do when I really love a book. It's a beautiful book to look at, and it's a fantastic one to read. And it has something I really love, its own little inbuilt bookmark, which really makes me happy.
It's only a librarian.
Exactly. So that's the 2 that I read.
So the other two that were on the list that you didn't get around to
Yes.
were Ready Player One by Ernest
Yes.
Cline. But you've started that
I've
one, haven't you?
started that one. I had to start reading that one on the Kindle because the print version that we borrowed from the library, I'm getting old. I couldn't read the print even though I've just had my glasses changed. I couldn't read it. So I'm reading it on the Kindle and I am really enjoying it. I like the way it's written. It's very fast. It's a very easy read. It's very straightforward. So far, 10 pages in and I'm loving it.
10 pages.
Yeah, 10 pages,
Further
yeah.
than that. Well, I'll hold off talking to you about that one
Right.
until you've finished it.
Okay, that's very kind
And
of
then your
you.
other book is your book club book, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What's it called?
I had a horrible feeling you were going to ask me that.
Some-
It's something about sheep and goats, and it's Joanna Cannon.
And the funny thing is, one of the ladies in your book group has actually read the wrong book, and the meetings went Monday.
On Monday. So my task
She's
tomorrow...
balmier than you.
How dare you? We're not all completely Fruit Loopish, I have to say. So my task is tomorrow to try and read a paperback about this fat. But it is quite big print. So I was contemplating. I have been known to do this. Just read the ends of each chapter to see what happens.
Terrible.
Or...
Disclaimer, we're not advocating that way of reading.
Absolutely, no we're not, although sometimes you have to. I have also been known to look it up and read the reviews and see what people think.
For your book group.
For the book
and then
group,
you
yes.
mislead all these nice people.
As if.
They all think you're leading by example, respectable librarian. She must have read the book. She must have studied it in immaculate page by page detail.
They haven't met me, have they, if they think that?
That is terrible.
Yes, myself and a colleague ago, we both studied history, and we both learned how to read for meaning if you're in a hurry. You don't read the full detail. So we call it skim reading. They call it lazy.
I'm sure though you'll be able to read the book in an entire day because actually when you look at BookTube, people do these readathons. They read 7 books in a day or something.
I don't know how on earth they do it.
No, I don't. I struggle to even read sort of a book a week.
Exactly.
So
well, you struggle to read the alphabet, but we won't go into that.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I'm sure you can, if you concentrate and put your mind to it, you can read that book
I'll
tomorrow.
do my best.
So that's good.
Report back on that next month.
So, okay, so that's kind of the wrap up for January, done a bit late.
Yes.
We were going to do this earlier today. And we didn't even have our usual trip to the library today because we went for a lovely walk on Wimbledon Common.
Which was fantastic.
Are you going to hit the snowball, yeah? 1, 2.
Ready?
Go! Missed! Rubbish!
Utter and complete rubbish.
Oh dear.
But I bet I can hit you.
Ah!
Yes, gotcha. Oh, and I was going to do my confession, wasn't I?
Oh, you were going to talk about something else you've read.
Well,
so what have you read instead of reading what was on your to-be read list?
I'll show you what I read instead of reading what's on the to-be read list. It's a series. I haven't got the first one. That's had to go back to the library because somebody else wanted it. But these are 2 and 3 in a series set in the 1920s.
So what are they?
They are detective novels.
But what are they called?
They are called... They're written by Fiona Veith Smith, and the heroine is called Poppy Denby. And let me just check. The second one is called... The first one is called The Jazz Files, and it's brilliant. It's set in 1920s London, and the heroine is somebody who is the daughter of people who work in a Methodist mission up north. She comes down to London to be her aunt's companion. Her aunt is an actress who is very prominent in the suffragette movement, and it's brilliant. It's a part of history that I'm really interested in, but I don't know very much about. And you find out about some of the more murky aspects of the suffragette movement. It's just really interesting. And again, excellent. At the back of each one, yes, this is the large print version. At the back of each one, as you can see, there's a list of useful material that will tell you more about the period. I do really like that feature. It's fantastic. And these are, again, they're really easy to read. Great fun.
What's the titles of the series?
The titles of the series, it starts off with the Jazz Files.
Yeah.
And then there's the Kill Fee. And then finally there's the Death Beat. And the heroine, Poppy, cut that bit. Poppy Denby ends up working at a newspaper. And the proprietor of the newspaper is a person of restricted growth. And that becomes relevant later on when they go off to America and they get caught up in eugenics and all this kind of stuff.
Polly or Poppy is a very good heroine.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I love that. It's like our neighbour downstairs at Christmas time.
No, you can't tell people this.
Karen wants to get our neighbour downstairs. There's some lovely old lady,
She's
a gift,
so nice.
and then we couldn't remember if she's called Barbara or Brenda. So she very naughtily wrote the Christmas card, and when she signed her name, she wrote it in a scrawling hand that could say Barbara or Brenda.
Or Brenda. But we think it's Barbara, don't we?
I don't know.
I think.
Still don't know.
She's such a nice lady.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll never ever watch this and she'll never know.
I think she's probably not got a computer.
Yeah.
I'm sure
probably
she's not a
into
YouTube watcher, so she'll never know.
Exactly.
So Polly or Poppy in the book. Who
but
knows?
Poppy is Poppy. Her boyfriend gives her a red enamel poppy to wear at one stage.
Oh my goodness!
Very
So how could you
romantic.
forget then if that's?
It's really, really good.
Okay.
And you might have noticed there's been nothing from Grandma. She's fast asleep.
Grandma's
We'll turn round
struggling
and watch
with
her.
the freezing weather we've been having
Yes.
in London.
So she's just recovering.
But that's
from the
awesome.
trauma.
So that's the wrap up for January.
Yes.
And
Thank
we
you
will,
very much.
A bit late, but we will be posting soon our to be reads in
Yes.
February, and carrying on with the January ones.
Yes. And we're going to do that jar, aren't we, where we try different genres and that kind of thing.
Oh, we
the
will.
reading
But
challenge
we will
jar.
be doing that maybe next week.
Yes.
So for now,
So bye bye. It's really nice to see you again. Bye bye.
bye.